So you guys thought I was joking when I've been mentioning this, but people are genuinely leaving the UK. My friends are leaving the UK. And this is a serious one from the Humble Penny. So watch and I'll give my take at the back end.
Yesterday, and it was... Hey guys, so I went for a leave-in do yesterday, and it wasn't just a normal leave-in do, like a friend's leaving and going to another job, for example.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually the first time I'd been to a leave-in do of someone who's leaving the UK because they're just fed up. So today I wanted to just make almost like a personal conversation with myself, and hopefully I can welcome you into this conversation. I want to talk about how I feel seeing other people leaving the UK, because it's real, right? Because for the first time ever, I've seen someone who is my age, who
Probably
I've grown up
with them.
with, who's lived in the UK, most of his life, and who's basically got to a point where they're just like, you know what, I'm leaving and I'm going somewhere else. This example is someone who is a GP, so a doctor in the UK, who is leaving the UK because they're just fed up with many things. So the state of the NHS, the state of just pay in the NHS for him particularly, just the weather, which is partly...
I was literally going to say that. I didn't want to stop, but the weather... It's a big factor waking up to a horror movie. Literally, it's always grey, it's always dark. It's like, geez, man.
Why I said, you know what, I'm going to come out here and make the video outside for a change. They're just fed up with just the direction of the UK. So in terms of the economy and just the state of things, the declining overall quality of life, and so on, and so on, and so on. Mm-hmm. So this video is just my reflection as I think about this and share how I feel about it. So the way I'm going to talk about it is I'll spend some time talking about why people are leaving the UK and how I feel about it. And then I'll get to the end and actually just reflect on my own personal take as I think about my life and my family and, what should we be doing at the moment? Should we also be thinking about leaving, and why? And why is it that people are thinking about leaving now more than ever? So let's just start at the very beginning, right? I want to just start by saying, if you are also noticing this pattern of more people than usual leaving for some of the reasons I've outlined, jump in the comments and let me know. And if you are thinking about leaving as well, say in the next 12 to 36 months, jump in the comments and let me know as well. And let me know why you are considering leaving the UK. So I want to start by just talking about one of the reasons that my friend and other friends, by the way. So I've just talked about one person. I've known other people, our children's schools decide to go to other places, to like Canada. I've seen entrepreneurs, business people leave to move to places like Dubai. I've seen people move back to the continent of Africa, to Ghana, to Nigeria, to Kenya, to Rwanda, to Tanzania. I've seen people move to Spain, Portugal. So there's been a lot happening, but so far, it's been mainly like seeing other people doing it, people on the internet and stuff. But more recently, it's been a lot closer to home, which is what's driven me to actually just reflect a lot more about this. We made a video recently about what happens to your investments and assets if you leave the UK. I think it's worth checking out after watching this video. I just linked to it below and above. Go and check it out.
That's a good question.
Let's start with the cost of living. Now, because I kept asking myself, the UK has always been a bit like this. It's always been like cold and freezing. In fact, right now as I'm holding this mic, I am so cold. It's always been like this. But why is it now that there's been this rise in people wanting to leave the UK? First reason is the cost of living. I don't know about you, but everything continues to rise in price. Even though they keep telling us inflation is, 2.6%, 2.5%, it keeps hovering around that number. But we know that prices have risen, significply over the last, say, 2.5 years. And as a result of that, prices have remained high. RPI inflation, other forms of inflation, costs from every angle, taxes, oh my goodness. I got a letter in the other day, 2 letters that really annoyed.
Before he says the letters, we get taxes upon taxes. So you already got taxed by your paycheck. Then, because they don't trust you to receive your money, because in case you won't, so they just cut you before you receive it. No, we're going to take our share. And then fuel up, tax upon tax, eating, tax. Anything you want to think about doing, there's no mercy. Taxed. And then when you look outside, you see a bunch of potholes everywhere. You're like, wait, where is my tax money going? Something's not aligning. Something's not making sense.
RPI inflation, other forms of inflation, costs from every angle, taxes. Like, oh my goodness, I got a letter in the other day. 2 letters that really annoyed me. Number one is the council tax, right? And I get why we pay the council tax. Nothing against that. Come and take my bins, you clean the streets. When they do it, it's great. However, the rise in council tax is so difficult to stomach a lot of the time. And it's one of those where if you don't pay it, you're going to be in a lot of trouble, serious trouble. In fact, they'll come after you to pay pretty much the whole thing in like a few weeks. Then there was the water bills. I got a bill in from Thames Water saying, your Thames Water bill is rising by £19 per month. And then they're like, this is just an average. It's likely that your bill is going to be higher than that. And that's per month. And bear in mind, like, a lot of people haven't had pay rises, suddenly happen for them. And then these bills are popping out from everywhere. It's not even just that. Look at the cost of food. Look at mortgage rates for the people who are having to pay, quite significant amounts of their paycheck towards paying for mortgages because the interest rates
fell for the trap.
People. Even though the base rate came down a little bit recently, those savings haven't really been passed on to people in the same way. Look at, cost of rent for people who are renting. So cost of living is just ridiculous to the point where a lot of people just feel more than ever like I'm just working to pay taxes, basically. Oh, and I haven't even talked about business people, business owners, small business owners, deep frustration, national insurance rises, costs, like people who are paying business rates. There's so many things that people just feel like, like, is it really worth? Oh, I think it's starting to rain. Is it? I'm just gonna...
You can't make this up. You cannot make this You cannot make this up. Midway making a video talking about how the UK is so bad the weather, and now it decides to piss all over. I'm sorry for even mentioning piss because normally I don't even swear on this channel. You can't make this up. Literally, not even the sun. Okay, cool. The weather's like, all right, he's talking bad about me, so let me give a little sun to just lighten the mood. No, I'm gonna pee all over him. Now let's cue the rain, cue the thunder. It's about to rain. Welcome to the UK.
I'm just gonna carry on. Is it really worth me actually carrying on this life in the UK? Particularly when, like, if we stop being afraid. If you went to another country, and I'm not saying you should go to another country, I'm just saying, hypothetically, if you went to another country and you looked at how their systems were set up, things could be significantly better for you. And this is where I started asking my friend. I said, like, sorry, I've got to put this hand in my pocket. It's so cold. I said, like, why are you moving? Right? And he said to me, this is a GP friend. He said, when I move to Bermuda, I will instantly... my income will be 2.5 times what I have.
Okay, I'm sold. How? Not even 2.5x. Bermuda Triangle. That's all. When he said Bermuda, that's all I thought about. Bermuda Triangle. I mean, oh my goodness me. That's such a big difference. I'm so intrigued now. Guys, like this video, please. We're going to go through the comments at the end of the video as well.
This is a GP friend. He said, when I move to Bermuda, I will instantly, my income will be 2.5 times what I have. That's 250% higher. On top of that, I have no income tax. On top of that, I have the weather, because the weather is way better. And on top of that, I can easily come back to the UK. He said to me it's about 6 to 7 hour flight, direct flight back to the UK. And on top of that, he has less hassle, less of the palaver that he's been dealing with the NHS. Not that he doesn't care. Of course he cares. He's a GP. But he cares about his patients, cares about his work. But he also has to think about his own life. Because, we're in our 40s now, early 40s. And like, you're starting to think about, like, when am I going to retire? How am I going to get to that point where I can retire? Oh, there's a dog. It's a dog behind. How am I going to get to that point where I can retire? What do I need to start to do? I don't have that much longer anymore. You might have thought, oh, back in the day, you might have thought, oh, I've got 20 years, I've got 30 years. But do I have that now?
Hold on, guys. Literally, my sister's calling me midway through, and if I didn't pick up, she'll think, "Oh, I'm always never available, whatever it is." So I decided to pick up midway through, anyways. There, quick flash on camera, and yeah, I'm gonna carry on a video. I'll talk to you, like, I'll call you back or something whenever I'm free, whenever that is. All right. Ah, cool. God bless.
Did you see that? The dog just jumped at me, and there's another one doing a poo.
Family first, guys. There's another one doing a poo. This, you won't believe this. This is probably like, look, guys, I'm not making this, oh, I'm a YouTuber to make this super perfect and blah, blah, blah. No. I'm keeping authentic, okay? Family comes first. That's probably what the doctor's moving, because they want to create something better for themselves. My sister just called me then. Most likely we're going to talk. And look, the struggle is real. Her husband, working, kids, like, you need to think about these things when you arrive at Ken's age, early 40s. You need to strategically plan. Am I ever going to have kids? If I do, how's that going to look like? Is this environment helping me? If not, you might want to consider moving back, I don't know, to bloody Nigeria or something, if you're from there, or Ghana. But you have to create a plan. And that's what I like to talk about on this channel. But let's go back to a dog pooing. So it's about to rain where he is, and now a dog is pooing midway through his video. You can't write this stuff.
The dog just jumped at me, and there's another one doing a poo.
This is crazy.
Anyway, I'm
welcome to the UK.
People bring their dogs. This is what happens. So this is fine. This is
welcome
like, this
to
is
the
normal.
UK,
this
mate.
Is normal. If Mary
Dog
was here
poo.
with me, she would like jumped massively. But anyway, so people are at that age, yeah, where they're thinking to themselves, I've probably got 10 years, yeah. What should I be doing right now? What should I be doing right now to make sure that I have enough for myself, for my family, for my children? Yeah. Like, I don't want to be working past 55. Like, I did a survey in our community. I mentioned this before. People are like, nah, man, I want to be done with that. And then there's a depressing, like, weather as well. I haven't even talked about that. I'll come to that in a minute. So the cost of living is by far one of the biggest reasons people are living. Second is the weather. I mean, look at this, man. I don't want to sound like I'm complaining, but like, I have to be real,
brother.
Right? This is how it feels all the time. I want to just come out, you know, to talk about this, you know, because this weather is affecting me. Like, I feel like I'm really affected by this. My wife, Mary, were affected by this. It's just constantly freezing. And on top of that, because it's so cold, nobody smiles anymore.
Nope. We left that 10 years ago.
You rarely see people smiling at you. People are just like, people's faces are frozen. People are depressed. Look, I want you to react in the comments and let me know, like, put one of those like freezing icicle emojis in the chat if you feel the same way, because I feel like this weather is another form of cost to our lives. It's another cost that we don't think about. We think about it, but we don't think of it as a cost, like true cost to happiness. It's a real cost to happiness. Because I've been like times when I've been really fortunate and I've been really blessed, by the way. And I'll come to how grateful I am about life in the UK in a minute. I've been fortunate to go to warmer parts of the world. And as someone who was born in a warm country, I was born in Nigeria, like I didn't really obviously I grew up with it. It was just all I had. I didn't really appreciate it as much. But the cold here, wow. And I've realized that when I go to warmer parts of the world, I just feel happier, like genuinely feel a sense of creativity, a sense of
alive,
just general sense of joy, a sense of like, wow, like I feel like this life is really worth living. I think things are great, you know? So the weather is another reason. Like, then the third reason is just general morale and like the mindset in the UK, right? I just feel personally, and this is my personal view, you might have a different view. My personal view in this country is that people don't really like other successful people. They don't appreciate people who are doing well, right?
You get robbed.
So you notice this, you know, like look at a lot of the policies that have come out related to like taxes and stuff like that. They're just basically penalizing, you know, entrepreneurs and, high earners and people like that. They're really just like targeting basically any sense that you are doing well, any sense that you are investing, you're getting assets, you have property, you have stock market investments, anything, any sense that you might want to leave an inheritance to, God forbid, to your children or to anyone, any sense of that. I just feel like the culture is targeting that. I feel like there's just a sense of like, like everyone has to be exactly the same. Like you can't be seen to be doing well. And even if you showed a little bit that you're successful, people just like appear to hate you. They just don't appear to be happy for you. And it doesn't need to be like that because, I feel like this country, first of all, I'm really blessed to be here. I'm blessed to have, I've lived in the UK now for, I think, 27 years, something like that. So I'm blessed to have been like, to be in this country, to be a British citizen. Like it's a blessing. There's so many freedoms that come with there. There's so many like amazing other things that come with that come with being here. And I feel like the UK could be great, even though I know we say it, Great Britain, great, there's a lot of great everything, great British this, great British that. I feel like the UK truly could be great, but there's so much that's been done that's making the UK not great and attractive. A lot of people are being put off to the point where they feel like this is it now. I'm being pushed and I now need to do what's best for me to go somewhere else. I feel like the culture of this scarcity mindset, just not encouraging, not encouraging us to want to do more, to earn more. Like, I feel like so many people, like when I speak to some of my friends who earn like quite a lot of money from like their corporate jobs, they just feel like they're giving away like a lot of it. Some people have effective tax rates of 60%. Some like they're just fed up, man. People are just tired of giving away their money to.
Listen to what you just said, 60% tax.
They just feel like they're giving away like a lot of it. Some people have effective tax rates of 60%. Some like they're just fed up, man. People are just tired of giving away their money to taxes. And this is not just income tax, it's everywhere you go. Like I mentioned council tax today. Oh, everywhere you go, man. There's VAT, like everyone's taking everything from you. And it feels very, very difficult. So I don't want to sound like I'm just complaining in this video. I keep repeating to say that how extremely blessed and fortunate I am to be in the UK, because the UK is better than a lot of countries. It's better than a lot of countries in so many ways. But I have to be real as well in acknowledging that living standards have declined and will continue to decline. In fact, I'll tell you what, right? I was thinking to myself the other day about like, imagine, where we are with the state of the UK economy and all these forecasts about GDP. It's just so depressing. Like you think, okay, imagine that their forecasts are saying it's going to be like 0 point something, at best 1 point something, like at best, right? This is forecasting. Forecasts are always wrong, right? So if you imagine the next 4 to 5 years is likely to be that we basically get more of what we've had in the past, or if anything, actually a decline. That's what
history has a funny way of repeating itself. It's going to decline. Let's keep it real. I know Ken is he's being nice about it. I'm not going to be as nice. It's going to get worse.
That's what's likely to happen. Although we'll likely be told, and we're constantly being told, that things are better than they are, when in actual fact they're not, right? And if you think, well, if that's the case in the next 5 years, then that could be the case for the next 10 years. Take your age right now and add 10 to it. Just add 10. So for me, I'll be my early 50s. So that means that potentially, and no one knows the future, but potentially, things could remain the same for the next decade. And if things remain the same for the next decade,
that's not a good thing. Yeah.
Thinking. This is where like this, how do I feel about people who live in the UK comes in. If the UK remains like this for the next 10 years, then are the people who are leaving right now really the smart ones? Are they the people who are actually like, you know what? Boy, like, I feel like I'm dodging something like a very difficult life ahead. What does that then mean for people's household finances if the UK doesn't really grow and just remains stagnant? We keep experiencing stagflation. We just remain in this like, in this almost stalemate where there's just nothing happening. There's the same messaging, productivity, growth. There's all this like, UK is going to grow, it's going to grow. we're going to harness AI, blah, blah, blah. But are we really? Are we really going to see those things happen? I don't know. The past has said to me that, nah, this ain't going to happen. And the signs I'm looking at the moment don't really point to much boom happening in the UK. Yeah, so I can kind of see why a lot of people are considering leaving. So I talked about cost of living, talked about the weather, talked about general morale in the UK. But I want to just talk about now, like, our children, right? Because
most important thing.
A lot of us, and then I'll talk about how I feel, and then I'll wrap up. Like, one thing that I think about a lot as a parent is, what does all this then mean for our children? Our parents, my parents, have sacrificed a lot to bring us to the UK and made a life here, started from nothing, and
the whole lot.
And I now have that responsibility to ask myself, what does this now mean for my children? Like, if the UK isn't really saying very much, isn't really growing, and opportunities are declining. People look at jobs. Oh my God, I haven't talked about jobs. Do you know how long it's taking for people to find jobs now?
Yep.
People who have got degrees, they've been to uni, they've got like student loan debt up to here, like so much debt. They can't get jobs in their areas of like study. They're working in like Sainsbury's, driving Ubers, and all kinds of things. There's a lot, and people who are getting made redundant left, right, and center. People who like have nice titles on LinkedIn, and the next thing you know, they're gone. They've lost their jobs. Yeah, they lost their jobs, and they're struggling to replace those jobs. Like really, really struggling to replace those jobs. There's a lot of dogs here. Like, I'm surrounded by 4 dogs. There's like 2 German shepherds, and oh yeah, there's a nice tiny one there.
I love this video, man. This is the most real video. That's why I'm keeping it 100 with you guys as well.
This is where I stay still. There's a big dog just come by. People are like, I read something like a crazy stat that is taking people like something like 38 job applications to even get called to
more than that,
like, come for like an interview.
More than that.
And you think, wow, like, okay, imagine all of this with like the AI, the artificial intelligence, and what's happening. Almost this like direction of travel where a lot of jobs are just being gotten rid of. Anyway, there's just a lot that's colliding that I feel makes this moment almost like a perfect storm, and it's why we're seeing more people consider leaving. And then our children, so a big question I'm asking myself is the UK where I feel my children should make a life for the future. Look at property prices. How on earth are my children going to get onto the property ladder if a lot of adults now can't even get on the property ladder? Like, how? And this problem is probably the same in other parts of the world. It's probably the same in America. I don't know. If you're American, let me know. Probably the same in Canada, even though people are going there. It's probably quite similar. If you are in Australia, it's probably the same. So again, there's this confusion. Like, is this the way the world's going? Is there just general discontent at the moment? Is this not unique just to the UK? I don't know. Now, how do I feel about all of this? If I'm honest with you, I feel a sense of FOMO. That's what it is. I shouldn't be saying that, but I'll tell you immediately. I feel FOMO because I feel like, particularly because I'm seeing my friends leave. Yeah. Before it was just people on the internet. I was like, yeah, whatever. But it's because I'm seeing my friends make this move now. I'm like,
I think you should make it
for us. What should we be doing? Now, here's my position. My position is that
Hold on, I'll pause right there in case Ken happens just to be watching this. And I've seen the journey, the whole build up before even reaching 100K when they started. Bloody blah blah blah. I've been on the scene for quite a while. I've got different YouTube channels, so this is not my first rodeo. I think he should leave, and he's a family man. He's got his wife there. I think it's not worth it. And even if your kids still, and this applies to you watching as well, even if your kids, oh, we love the UK so much, and when they grow up, they can always come back. But right now, it's better to put a hedge against your, I would say it's better to protect the assets that you've built and allow them to grow efficiently, whether that's because we already know it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. If you can keep way much more by working less, it's a no-brainer. If your assets can still grow and you've reduced, or in this case, your doctor friend, they've 2.5x their income already just by making a jump, it's a no-brainer. Go and find any stock. I don't care, stocks and shares. You don't even tell me about VUSA or ETFs or any of that. But find me a stocks and shares ISA. It could be the most special ISA beyond Trading 212. Just a normal, amazing ISA that gives you all these crazy returns and your money's tax free. And you're capped in how much you can put in anyways. So if I'm capped already, it means I've got a smaller shovel. Because if I build my income and I can put more in my ISA, I can leverage that to become financially super independent quicker. Or obtain FIRE, to be able to retire early. But if my income is limited, and as I was saying, and I'm not able to find a crypto or a share that can do a 2.5x, already I'm missing out, because I can do both. I can destroy two birds. I was going to say like the K word, but the algorithm is crazy these days. But I can destroy two birds with one stone. Why? Because I automatically move 2.5x and I can still be investing, especially with YouTube. And I don't know if he still does I think it was accounting. I can't remember. But yeah, I can already gain a 2.5x indefinitely if I stay there and carry on investing, because everything is on my laptop. My YouTube, in this case, the Humble Penny is on, you can still film. I mean, look at where you're filming right now. At least you have a better background, better sun, and less dogs roaming around. So yeah, that's the way I'll think of it. But obviously, I don't know whether you've seen this video or not, but yeah, that's what I'll think of it. Instant 2.5x. I can't find that not that I can't, but it's way riskier finding that in crypto or stocks and shares. Real estate, great, but you can't make it liquid instantly because it takes longer to sell a house if even someone's willing to buy it. Whereas crypto or other forms of investment, it's a lot quicker. So yeah, anyways.
I don't have...
Take the same strategy that I just told you as well, because it applies.
Any plans of permanently leaving the UK, because I've made a life here. My parents sacrificed so much. My wife's parents sacrificed so much to move here. And we've made a life here, we have friends, our children have friends, but I know no one knows tomorrow.
Get new ones.
But I just feel like the best case scenario for me and my family is a hybrid, a situation where when it's cold, I have the option. For me, this is the main thing, is having the freedom and the finances to go and live somewhere else for a few months, maybe 3 months, for example, or maybe even up to half a year. I don't know. Is being able to do that, from September, October time till maybe March or something, and then come back here because we have life here. We have aging parents. I got parents who are in, much older, say 70s, Mary's parents, 80s, 70s, 80s. So there's that to consider as well. So there's a lot of moving parts, but my overwhelming feeling is that I feel a sense of frustration, FOMO, and also weirdly gratitude, because sometimes when you're you're looking at the negative aspects a lot, sometimes you have to pause and ask yourself, what am I grateful for? What are the positives that I also need to
acknowledge?
So cold, man. See this country.
Just move. You've got your answer. The FOMO is real. Definitely the fear of missing out is a real thing. So you have to acknowledge that. And I think the best, you've said it, the best is a hybrid. So I'll make that move instantly. And the hybrid, the good thing about the hybrid option that you just mentioned, Ken, is I believe it's Richest Man in Babylon that I read, that this is in, I believe, if not the other tons of books that I've read. But if you could quickly reverse a decision, it's best to make it quick. So for you, my friend, I'll say instantly make it. You've got the finances, you've got everything in order. I'll say make that instant move, because you can always reverse it, you know, because it's a hybrid. You're not fully packing up and you know, and destroying everything, burning the bridge and then going across. You can always, because it's a hybrid. So I'll say make it. And if you don't like it, you can delete that and then make another switch. I don't know, maybe to Nigeria. I think they're Nigerians. And see how that things go like that. But if you've got the means to be able to do so, I say instantly do it, because at best things will stay the same in the next 10 years, in the next decade. Ask yourself, would you be happy with that if things remain the same? And if the answer is no, you already know what to do. And we know that's at best. Most likely it's going to get worse. Would you be happy if the answer is no? You already know what to do. Now, let's say if there's a 10% increase that it gets better 10%. Would you be happy with that 10% increase? If the answer is no, you already know what to do. You see what I mean? It's almost as if you already know your answer. So that's for you, not just Ken. I'm saying for you watching at home, like, these are the questions you need to ask yourself and the decisions you need to make. Let's see the comment section. You can live in the UK for 30 years working every day and still have nothing to show for it. This is the one I highlighted earlier on, which is so true. I mean, 551 people now, including me, liked it. So, you know, ICE is there. This is just to do with retention. I don't know if people watched up to that point, but there's me again. Yeah, so I'm not seeing other emojis. Obviously, I'm on YouTube, so I'm watching the video to check it out. So I've watched it, but I'm looking for another ICE emoji I don't see. So I believe I'm the only one, but all the other comments are agreeing. We're all in agreement. The property ladder in Ireland. Oh, that's about Ireland. It's probably the same thing, but yeah, we don't want to, because we want the UK stuff. 1,000% agree with you. My daughter just moved to Dubai for the same reason. Yeah, 5 years ago I was going to move to Dubai and I didn't, and now I'm low-key potentially kind of regretting it, but potentially. But then again, Dubai isn't cheap. Don't be fooled. But yeah, anyways, I don't want to make this video super long. Let me know your comments in the comment section down below. There's the details to check out the Humble Penny. Show them love as we did. And yeah, I want to hear your decision. Do you agree or do you disagree? Like the video, subscribe, do all of that stuff. And share this video to someone who's struggling with this decision.